Welcome to Miracle Academy. This is the first new episode. We're not moving into the whole Miracle Academy vibes. My first guest on this new version of ourselves is Garrain Asé. If you know him as Garrain Jones, there's a little bit of a transition there. So I'm going to allow him to introduce himself, talk a little bit about the change.
Everything that I'm going to share today comes from personal experience. Had a really, really difficult life. My father was murdered when I was 12, in and out of juvenile, in and out of jail, living in my car, homeless for 2.5 years.
What started to come up for me, how do I go back and heal that, but also honor that journey? Do you heal that moment in time? Or is it one of those things where you're like, I'm gonna just re-architect an entire new reality?
I already did that. I had to create a new identity based off of someone I've never seen before. I am the most powerful representation of who my daughter will marry one day. Put yourself as a priority and allow everyone to benefit from your overflow.
Brother, thank you so much. Welcome to Miracle Academy. This is the first new episode. If you've been joining me before, we were on Science of Abundance, got a little bit too heady. We're not moving into the whole Miracle Academy vibes. My first guest on this new version of ourselves, which is timely, is Garrain Asé. So, Asé, I'm going to get this right. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself, talk a little bit about the change, because if you know him as Garrain Jones, there's a little bit of a transition there. So, Garrain, beautiful to meet you. Well,
Nice to meet you as well, brother.
we met already, but now we're like meeting and dropping in again.
Absolutely.
Two Austin guys hearing the same vibe.
Yeah.
Tell me about you, about yourself, a little bit of the name change, and let's drop in.
There is about 1 million different directions I can go in, but I will share with you everything that I'm going to share today comes from personal experience. Nothing I learned in a book. The book only gave me the language for something I already had results for. Had a really, really difficult life. My father was murdered when I was 12. My mom just had to play the role of the mom and the dad with two boys just trying to figure life out. And I was the outlier of the family, in and out of juvenile, in and out of jail, breaking into cars, getting kicked out of school. But I was the kind of kid that would damn near just try anything.
Yeah.
And just to see, I would break toys to see how they work, and then I would put them back together. And in breaking those toys to put them back together, everything that I share today comes from me breaking down fear, putting it back together to see how it works, breaking down manifestation, putting it back together. So I don't see life and how majority of people see the life, because it's like I operate from the inner child, little Garrain, who just loves toys and breaking them down and putting back together, see how they works, so he can teach other people, oh no, this is why this button works. And so anything that I share is going to come from the breaking down of a process, putting it back together, and then using a story to drive home a specific point. And, living in my car, ex-convict, homeless for 2.5 years, completely transforms my life. But then I broke that down like, wait, hold on. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why my attitude is the way. Why am I sad? Let me put it back together. Let me find somebody that can help me put this story back together.
Right.
And I found a way to feel the frequency of joy and happiness, and then watch my life mirror that joy and happiness. And anything in my life that does not feel good, there's a reason why. I won't settle for being like, oh, this is just the way life is. It's not the way, it's the way I'm living. And when you asked me about my name, so you're actually the very first podcast to address me as Garrain Asé, because I've built for the last 14 years the brand of Garrain Jones, and people know Jones, 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 but deep inside was me silently suffering, knowing that was a slave owner's last name and not knowing I could do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
knew a bunch of people that like changed their last name and they were like, F the white man, but I was never like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, do I have to say F the white man to change I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
And then one day, I'm working on my album right now called Songs in the Key of Truth.
Okay.
And I feel like God has arranged my entire life to be vibrationally true in anything that I've settled upon, anything that I'm overcompensating, anything that I'm lying to myself about, any friends that I'm just tolerating.
Yeah.
Everything is just being washed away.
Yeah.
So my name, Jones, which is the most common last name in Black people in America,
For sure.
that's a slave owner's last name.
Yeah.
And it went to 4 different plantations. And one of the plantations was in Mississippi and Memphis. But my whole dad's side of the family is from Memphis.
Right.
And so I decided to consciously, from a space of emotional sovereignty,
Yeah.
to lift someone else's legacy and no longer carry a slave owner's legacy. Because when I look at my family, I say, you know what? When they look back on what we created as a dynasty, it's not going to go back to a slave owner. It's going to come back to what we create.
Yeah.
And I know my descendants are from West Africa. And when my wife asked, what name would you name it? I didn't even have a name, but I felt this vibration come up my whole body.
Yeah.
And it was like, Asé.
Yeah.
I'm like, Asé. I've only heard people say that at the end of prayers.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it meant. I just know my descendants are from West Africa.
Yeah.
My mother's maiden name is Gori. That's Gori Island off the coast of Senegal, West Africa, which is where one of the largest transatlantic slave trades were.
Yeah.
That's my mother's maiden name.
Yeah.
And we looked up Asé, and it was like, and so it is, divine oneness, and it is the driving current that's behind all creativity, plants, animals, and humans.
Yeah.
So like when you make a decision, then all these supernatural things start happening.
Yeah.
The current that drives that is what is called Asé.
Beautiful.
And that is like we're in the legal process of changing it right now.
So you're in it right now?
Right now,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Let me ask a question. Does your wife change her name as well?
Absolutely.
I love it. I
don't come from this force economy.
Yeah.
It's the energetic buy-in.
She was in on it.
And I told her, and think about it, she's blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
She represented the culprit of the reason why I couldn't bring it up in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to offend white people. And that was literally a part of the white programming.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at my wife on a date and I'm like, I need to talk to you about something. And I've talked to her about so many other things in regards to like race and things like that. But I never brought up the name because that was my biggest fear. And I'm choking.
Yeah.
I'm like literally choking on my words in this diner. At the exact same time, this lady right next to us starts choking, throwing up, having a heart attack, and I literally saved her life.
Yeah.
So I know that what I was bringing up, it was ancestral. It pierced the field.
Yeah.
You could see it because it happened at the same time.
Yeah.
I saved her life. She was like, who are you? I was like, this is what I do for a living. Regulate nervous system.
Yeah.
But then I had to regulate my own nervous
regulate
system.
Your own, yeah.
And then when I shared it with her, she's like, oh my God. She's like, well, in that case, of course. I said, because I can't go another day looking at my children and say, hey, Soul Jones, knowing what that's connected to. It's like turning a blind eye to a truth that's not based in reality for me.
Right.
And so that's what that is. So there's an energetic buy-in. Then my wife goes, oh, the irony.
I love it. I love it. Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because, all right. So as a Black man from Texas originally, and I did my 23andMe, and I saw that I was 54% European.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is so it kind of permeates my family on both sides. And then what I also noticed was that things that would come up for me, almost like this epigenetic programming that I carried around. Like if you think about Black family systems, we have no, like, Black men are like traditionally like not loyal men, right? My father wasn't, his father wasn't. I mean, I just see it over and over again. what started to come up for me, that was a long tie into that, but what started to come up for me was that how do I, if time is an illusion, right? How do I go back and heal that, but also honor that journey
Yeah.
that my ancestors were
Yep.
on? And does that come up for you at all? Or does it feel like you want to put I guess the question is, do you heal that moment in time? Is this a healing of that moment in time by making the conscious choice within the name change? Or is it one of those things where you're like, okay, I'm going to just re-architect an entire new reality from this present moment?
Well, actually, I already did that.
You did that. Okay.
I
Okay.
did that, and it was necessary for me to do that because there was no example.
Okay.
It's so people come down so hard on men.
Yes.
But there's no example.
No example.
There was no example in my life
Yeah.
of a man that I respected, that had what I wanted,
Yeah.
and was a devoted husband.
Right.
So I just naturally did what I saw.
Right.
Which is my papa was a rolling stone.
Yeah.
And I didn't have an example. So I was a little boy trying to be a man with a bottomless pit in my heart.
Yeah.
And I treated every woman the self-destruction in which I treated myself.
100%.
I didn't know. I have a daughter who's about to be 24. I wanted a relationship with her so bad. And this was almost 10 years ago. I wanted a relationship with her so bad.
Yeah.
And no matter how much money I would make, no matter what I did in the world, she wouldn't budge. That's what got me into personal development. That's what got me into emotional intelligence, communications level 1, 2, 3, and 4, trauma certification level 1 and 2 on 2 separate occasions.
Right.
Because every course, every program, every retreat that I took, I'm like, what is it about me that she doesn't trust? And so I didn't know that by having this driving energy to go into I probably did 10 times more work than most humans on the planet that are highly educational from the spiritual sense.
Right.
10 days in the dark, 5 days in the silence. I mean, going to Costa Rica, sitting in the jungle for 14 days.
Yeah.
Like, I've done all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it about me that my daughter doesn't trust?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I did the silent retreat, and then afterwards, a guy named Steve Stern came up to me. He's like, man, I've seen you in several programs.
Yeah.
And your intention is the same thing every time, but there's no results happening. He said, you're a good-looking guy. Safe to say you can get any girl you want. I said, yeah. He said, get a date with your daughter. Because in my mind, she was still 3 years old.
Okay.
And I was like, but I've never pursued any woman in my life like what was about to happen with my daughter.
Yeah.
There were women around me whose relationships with their dads started changing based off of what they saw me doing with my daughter. And I'm like, wait, they're not even corresponding with their dad, but why am I getting all this feedback with the woman? There must be something about the woman that all they need to do is see and then project something different. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. 20, 30 women. Yeah. Relationships with their dads started changing. Yeah. Based off of how they saw me pursuing a relationship with my daughter. But the driving force behind that, instead of, I hope she sees that I'll change, I had to create. Yeah. This ties into what you said. I had to create a new identity based off of someone I've never seen before. Yeah. And from that caricature, the new identity were these words: I am the most powerful representation of who my daughter will marry one day. And it was that. Yeah. When that happened, all of a sudden, I'm watching these relationships with these women and their dads change, but I was changing based off of my new identity. Right. That's why I know however you identify, this plastic universe is going to match.
Yeah.
However you identify,
time.
I'm stupid, I'm slow, I'm unworthy, I'm cheating, I can never figure it out. You're right.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how powerful the word I am is in creation.
Yeah.
And so when I said that, and all of a sudden I'm pursuing a relationship with my daughter, the moment I took her out on a date, there's women that hadn't spoken to their fathers for like 5-10 years in an Indian culture. My dad asked me on a date.
Yeah.
That's not even part of their culture. That's when I knew. I was like, yo, there's something about the woman that if they can see and experience an example, if they can sense this energy in probably a visual that they'd never seen before, they can attune something different.
Yeah.
So it was that led me on really being an ally to women, but also becoming a devoted example of something that most women had never experienced, which is safety in the presence of another masculine man who doesn't want anything.
Right.
But it was the relationship I wanted with my daughter that was recoding me and the way in which I identified. Now, here's how I know it was God ordained.
Yeah.
When I became that,
Yeah.
that's when I met my wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got a similar personality. I'm like,
that's epic. All right. I love it. I love it.
So that's where that came from.
Yeah. Okay. So then questions that I have for you are, one, especially for viewers, is we oftentimes get stuck in the feedback loop of getting the affirmation from the external illusion to know that we're doing the thing. And oftentimes if we don't get it fast enough, that we change who we are because we're not getting the feedback. At any point in that journey, were you not getting the feedback and the resistance? And then how did you stay present to then know that that vibration that you were creating from within was the truth?
Well, I didn't know what I was doing when I was doing it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even speak from, okay, I'm going to do this and this is happening. I knew that what I was doing in the past wasn't working.
Yeah.
The moment my daughter looked at me and she said, Dad, you're different. I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
Because I knew
Yeah.
I was doing something I'd never seen before.
Right.
And to have somebody that wasn't open at all.
Right.
Don't ever call me again.
Yeah.
Like at all. Dad, you're different.
Yeah.
The moment her mother started texting me and she was like, what did you do to my daughter? I'm like, what do you mean? She's been in the closet for the last hour changing outfits, all giddy and stuff. Oh, I just told her, I said, hey, we're going to go on a date. I want you to get magazine ready. Don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
We're going to have the time of our life. I've never said that to anybody.
Yeah.
And then her mother goes, great job, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Then my relationship with my mom started changing because my mom is still a woman.
Yeah.
Because I was pursuing a relationship with her. So I'm realizing a lot of women have never had a person who had safety in their body in pursuit.
Yeah.
Including my mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like watching all these relationships change.
Beautiful. Okay. And then let me ask this question. If you talk about, I've heard you say this on a couple of podcasts and other things, the plastic universe, plastic world around us, right? And one of the things, you know who Rudolf Steiner is?
Yep.
Okay. Rudolf Steiner has the book called The Way of Initiation. So read that book, and then you oftentimes get these challenges just put up against you. What was the hardest challenge when you were going through it, or did it all just kind of like lay up?
Well, the thing about it is, this weaponized language, the soul in your body and the soul in your shoe, blocking you from the soul in the earth and the soul in your body. So like we got weaponized language. So I am very clear as a wordsmith that I don't have any challenges.
Okay.
And I knew that back then, that I had growth opportunities. So I was always looking for the growth. And I got that from Jim Rohn, and on some some platform or personal development program that he said. And, you know, it's growth opportunities, character building opportunities. So because I look for character building opportunities, the word challenge doesn't put me in the bind of that frequency. I had that before that was happening.
Right.
So then I had something to apply it on. And I would say, and this is one thing I would always say. My mother, when I was 4 years old, when my mom and dad were separating. Yeah. She said, pick which parent you want to go with at 4. You talk about a challenge.
Yeah.
What? I don't want to make that decision.
Yeah.
But what that did is my mother, she gave me the power to choose my own destiny. Right. And when you know you have the power, you don't rely on outside things. You know that you can, and it was unconscious. Yeah. But I wondered why. I remember the exact moment that my intuition unlocked 10 minutes later. Yeah. Pick which parent you want to go with. I don't want to. I'm dreading. We got 30 minutes to leave. Pick which parent you want. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I chose to go with my dad because he was the easier of the two. Something welled up in my body. Yeah. Stop the car. Stop the car. Go with your mom. And I just hear this voice. Go with your mom. I'm 4. My daughter just turned 4. So at the same age, stop the car. Go with your mom. Yeah. My dad stops the car, takes me back with my mom and my brother. Several years later, in the house I would have lived in if I would have went. Yeah. That's where my father was murdered. So I say this is I've experienced so many crazy things in my life. Yeah. Being out in a nightclub, my friend had fought somebody in the club. I'm standing outside the nightclub. There's a person right here. There's a person right here. Next thing you know, there's an El Camino. And this dude with a sawed-off shotgun, boom, boom, dead, I'm alive. Yeah. My life has been spared so many times. Yeah. In and out of jail, going to prison for 2.5 years, living in my car for 2.5 years. When I was 13, these 3 men tried to drown me in this bayou, and somehow I have experienced so many challenges. Yeah. That what people would typically call challenges is like one of them gnats that go like that for me. And that's it. And I know you've experienced challenges too. Yeah. So my durability meter, my resilience meter has such a wide capacity to hold for a lot of things that most people, they're just like, man, this divorce or this breakup, this. I was like, man, this stuff happened to me by the time I was 14 years old. Yeah. So I can hold peace in my body for a very long time. And I can approach things that seem like challenges, but from the space of tranquility in my body. Right. And it typically responds in its physical equivalent to the energy that I'm in when I'm challenged, and the energy that I'm in when I'm challenged, 99% calm. So it's actually dangerous to bypass your feelings. Yes. It's really, really, really dangerous. That would be like the waves in the ocean not waving. Yeah. Like you're just stopping every wave. You can't stop nature. If you've ever watched a grandmother cook without ingredients because she's been doing it for a while, she kind of just has this way. Yeah. Because I've been dealing in the inner world for a while, I know what to do with those emotions. So it may seem for some people that never knew, they turned it into porn, over addiction, overworking, alcohol, right, beating people, and all these different, they're all forms of expression. Yeah. And those expressions come out because at the point of its origin, there's not permission in the body to release. Right. So whether it's a punching bag, whether it's swimming, whether it's running, because when you're running, you're literally running energy out of your body.
Right.
It's all depends on the intention that you're in
Right.
when you're running.
Right.
Having somebody in your life that is just, that's not going to judge you for, I need to release this. And there's no personal growth. I need to say it as it is.
Yeah.
I have designed my life so that I have no energy leaks. And what that does is it allows a continuous filtration system.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you ain't gonna stop. You ain't gonna just hold your breath.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna die if you keep holding your breath.
Yeah.
So because I understand how nature works, it's
Yeah.
always giving and receiving.
Right.
You got holes all over your body. Sweat comes out, pee comes out, poop comes out, throw up comes out, blood comes out.
Yeah.
If you hold in your deepest, darkest secrets, you hold in your gifts. If you hold in it, I promise you, what you think you're holding in is coming out in an unhealthy way somewhere else.
Right.
So I understand, I intrinsically understand that.
Yeah.
And what I do is I design my life. I mean, whether it's in my bathroom, whether it's in my office, my car, so that I have touch points of releasing.
Right.
Like I'm working on an album right now. I've designed my life where I can take my studio everywhere I go.
Right.
Some of the world's greatest songs came out of pain.
Yeah.
They transmuted it through art.
100%. Yeah.
That's why I created my company. It's called Artist Power.
Right.
And it teaches people how to transmute emotion through creativity. It's like, but that's what little kids used to do all the time. We just forget the way.
Right.
But meanwhile, little kids, unlimited amount of creativity, boundless energy. Their wonderment is through the roof.
Yep.
They'll never get tired. And I always say adults are deteriorated children. So what if we could teach that adult how to tap back into the energy you once had as a child? There might be some stuff in the way, but I'm telling you, if you don't remove that stuff, now you are dealing with some penny that doubles every day for 31 days, like $10.4 million.
Yeah.
So if you double anger and double depression every single day, I don't work on the top. Yeah. It's like the root canal for your spirit body. Yeah. The holistic one.
Yeah.
And the kid that feels joyful and excited and feels like, damn, I feel safe enough to share this thing I've been holding in for 30 years. Yeah. What that does to the topper layers of your life.
Oh, yeah.
It just dissolves everything. It don't like nothing's going to go away forever. Just like you can't brush your teeth one time and it be clean forever.
Yeah.
There's a continuous repetition of taking a shower, showering your mind, showering your heart, being in your inner child body. So if you understand how nature works, nobody plants weeds. It's just part of the ecosystem. Yeah. So the weeds of your past and the weeds of your mind, all it needs is time. But if you become a master gardener of your mind, you'll be fine. And this is how I do it. I've become a master gardener. I know what weeds look like, and I've designed my life based off of, all right, that's a weed, that's a weed, that's a weed. I need to get out of this environment. I need to listen to this music. I need to go swimming. And that's what I do.
Yeah. Hyper intentionality around it. I love that.
Yep.
I love that. All right. And so for the listener who, like I'll give you an example of myself a little bit. Sexually abused 9 to 14. So my dad had a whole other family.
Say that again.
My dad had a whole other life, like whole other thing, right? Go on further. I try to replicate. I try to do everything I can not to be him.
And you end up being him.
Bro. All right. And then in the process of not being him, I'm literally trying to like slip my wrist, take my life, put gun to my head, pull the trigger. It didn't fire. The whole thing. Did the whole thing. I know we don't know each other, so I'm giving you a little bit of framing. Then
so glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah. Then I energetically threw myself in prison for a thing I didn't even do. Godfather, embezzled a bunch of money. I end up incarcerated, 46-month sentence, and I'm in there. And actually was one of the most transformative experiences of my life because then you actually learn how to listen to yourself for the first time ever. Then I get out and I'm like, oh, program again. Let me do what I did
Yep.
before. Tried to make that work and was just crashing my life into the deepest bowels, I guess you could call it, of what I could possibly get into, even though life looked really good, optically looked nice, right? So showed some kind of superpower on some end, but it wasn't landing because like you get money and disappear, you get money and disappear. You would have a relationship and it would break. Then I met Sophia, who you've met, and she's like, "You need to meditate." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because I had grown up, I grown up in the Christian church.
Yeah.
I'm like, pray, like I don't do the whole Jesus thing right now. It's like it hadn't been working for me. And but then that unlocked this whole world for me when I started meditating. Bumped into Dr. Joe Dispenza, into 9 retreats. All of a sudden, started manifesting crazy money. Things got better, but then I realized I was stuck in a guru, right? And so then I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. Let me go create my own thing. Started a little mini cult in LA, and I'm like, well, that isn't it either. So I went through all these different iterations, got really mental with it, and never felt anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Instagram channel, started 2.5 years ago and blew up to like 400,000 people. It was a bunch of heady stuff, attracting people that were kind of caught in the same pattern, the same reflection, the same pain. And it brought them through, and people say, it's changed my life, so on and so forth. But I always felt like this is why I stopped for a while. I was poisoning the well with my own trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at? And there's danger in it. All that, you could. I'm not going to get into the whole religion thing. We can if we want to, like antichrist kind of vibes where I'm using the external affirmation in order to feed myself because I'm not listening. So I went down this whole path, and then I'm like, I don't feel anything. I was bad at relationships, not close to my wife, trying to even destroy my company, my relationships, everything else. My inner child was coming in saying, okay, this is what you want to do. I'm going to show you who's boss because you haven't been listening to any version of this 5 to 18-year-old that has been working to get your attention, that has very purposely built, that went through pain on purpose, not because he wanted to get, not because he wanted to go through the things, but because he had a lesson to learn and a lesson to feel and a lesson to speak. And for people and listeners who have gone through these things and maybe don't have the passion, or they're stuck in the cycle and they haven't created the capacity to work themselves out of, because like what you said, you've been tending the garden of your life to do those things. I'd say I've just started figuring out how to tend the garden of my life, to be able to identify how to feel. And then in the feeling, you can find the weeds, because you're kind of like a blind person in a space searching like, oh, there it is. And you feel it through your body. Your body is the actual garden, right? Mm-hmm. And so for you, if you were to, based on everything that I said, if you were going back to the version of me, let's say 5 years ago or 3 years ago, what would you tell that person from what you know?
It's 2 things.
Yeah.
One thing is find you a powerful, positive, uplifting, goal-driven community of people who are living in the direction that you want to live. Because you become the sum total of the people that you hang out with the most. When I wasn't healthy, I hung out with healthy as the lifestyle people. Next thing you know, I got shredded 6-pack abs, because that's what they talk about.
Right.
So whatever your core group of people talk about, that's who you are.
Right.
Because there's a language inside a community. That's why they try to divide us so much, to say, no, United States of America. It's called Divided States of America.
Yeah.
Because everything is division. Black, white, Muslims, Christians, trans, non-trans. It's like, vax, non-vax. It's like that feeds the system, us being divided.
Yeah.
So if you are in a nation of division, you've got to create unity. You've got to do it yourself. You cannot wait. Ain't no president going to create unity inside of you.
Yeah.
So you've got to be the president of the United States of yourself.
Yeah.
And find those people.
Yeah.
I was never exposed to those people. So I didn't even know what it was like. I'm just around. I'm like, why are these people so positive? Why is this? Why is that? But meanwhile, all this good stuff was happening in my life. Where does money come from? Where does random check come from?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I lost 35 pounds, put on 19 pounds of muscle, took my body fat from 16.4% down to 6%.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that for 10 years. And I just hang out with healthy people.
Yeah. Go.
And you do as they do.
Yeah.
So when I never was in a gang, but when I hung out with gangbangers, I did what they did naturally.
Yeah.
And so that's number one. You can find it online, and you can find, this is why I create my retreats, because I create the kind of environments that I need.
Yeah.
And then I attract people that I want to hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has served itself really well. So one, find you a powerful, goal-driven, uplifting community that's living in the direction that you want to live.
Yeah.
Not that's keeping you in the same spot you don't want to be in.
Right.
Because there's no way out.
Yeah.
That's the real trap.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two is an action. I was privileged to hang out with Stevie Wonder for 4 hours.
Okay.
Okay. 2 years ago. I have a very interesting life.
Yeah. Is he really blind?
So,
So is he really blind? People have a myth about that.
No, get this. So my friend goes, hey man, you want to go to a Labor Day party tomorrow? I'm like, yeah. I was in LA.
Yeah.
So I go to the Labor Day party and I see my friend. He was like, hey, did you meet Stevie? I'm like, Stevie who?
Yeah.
He says, Stevie Wonder, this is his house.
Yeah.
I was like, you ain't tell me I was coming to my all-time favorite singer's house.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you just walk right by him. I was like, I didn't know whose house. I was like, you got to introduce me to him.
Yeah.
I got a chance to share my story. The one that I did at the beginning of this, he just leaned in like that. And I experienced a level of presence I had never felt in my life. I only seen it on Animal Planet.
Yeah.
And they about to kill their prey or something.
Yeah.
Then he pulled out an instrument. And I'm just like, bro, what is happening right now? And it's called the arpeggi. It's a half guitar, half piano.
Yeah.
And he put this machine to it to tune it. And he put the machine away. And he leaned in closer and he tuned it even better than the machine. And I saw this presence. I'm like, next thing you know, somebody told him it was my birthday. Guess what song he sang?
He sang it. Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. And I'm like, bro, what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I see him walk around his house. Nobody's helping him.
Mm-hmm.
I got in my phone right now, him playing slaps.
Yeah.
And winning every game.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
How is Stevie Wonder, a blind man, able to write songs about a world he's never seen before?
Mm-hmm.
It must be a different way to see. So since that moment, I started waking up every morning. I was like, let me see what happens if I just don't open my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Started with 5 minutes and I'm just running into things. I was like, I got to approach it way different. I got to feel my way around. I got to breathe different. I got to trust every step. I didn't know I was training deep trust because typically you got to like, oh yeah, I trust you. No, but you want to know how you train trust? Stop looking.
Yeah.
Stop opening your eyes.
Yeah.
So now I got it to where every morning, 4:20 a.m., everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
I don't open my eyes for the first hour. I go make my wife tea.
Yeah.
I got to smell the different powders. I got all these different versions of powder tea. I'm like, her glass. I was like, so now I'm thinking about love. And because I'm feeling the world around me, I'm feeling the relationship. So if you train on a relationship, your relationship is going to improve. 100%. So I have to feel the world around me, the wall to the ceiling, the carpet to the floor. Everything is based off of relationships and intentionality. My intuition has deeply and vastly improved. My level of calmness and tranquility under the most dire circumstances. Everything because I trained for it.
Yeah.
And what that taught me was, oh my God, this is why they program the world to fear black, dark. Everything is programmed. Yeah. Because what I'm getting in darkness is my most magical self. Yeah. But what have we been programmed? Monsters in the closet. Every movie you've ever watched, Monster in the Closet, Boogeyman underneath the closet. Yeah. Meanwhile, black is bad. Black cat, black line, black list, black male, black everything.
Yeah.
Black, black, black. And then you encounter a black male, all this stuff comes up. You think it's the person. It's not. It's the programming.
It's the program. Yeah.
But because I trained in darkness,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, the moon doesn't avoid darkness. The stars don't. It seems like everything in nature understands what to do with darkness. You drop a seed into the ground. You don't drop a seed into light.
Yeah.
It understands how to even create and curate the mycelium network.
Yeah.
So nature
Right.
knows right about darkness. And what that taught me was darkness is an amplifier, and it'll amplify anything you give it. So my number two is start with 5 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
Don't open your eyes. That's your crutch. Go and brush your teeth. Go grab a glass of water and feel what you feel in your body. Extend it to 7 minutes the next day, and then extend it. Get up to 20 minutes, and I want you to watch what happens in 30 days with your trust, your intuition, your acute sense, with your ability to make powerful decisions in the heat of the moment, your decisiveness time, your acute awareness. All will be trained in the non-physical world reality. And it's in the non-physical world. The reason why I'm saying this is in the non-physical world reality that the invisible people who are in control of the invisible people who are in control of the government, who we think are in control, they're the ones that fester the field, the vibrational field. It's all in the non-physical world. But if you train non-physical world, you're not the one that's getting manipulated.
Bro, I love it. I love it. That brings me to a point where I'd love to transition is into the world we're in now. Okay. When you were talking about what you were talking about, the thing that what I got really heady about and really good at was like, I know this whole thing's an illusion. Looking at all the quantum physics, collapse wave function, Walter Russell's work, all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that, right? And I can cerebralize that, but to actually embody it as a whole. Then I started to talk about, decrypting the Illuminati. How do you view the world today? Because one of the things I see is that we're not evolving. Same stories in the Bible over and over again.
Or someone's playing, has the same game playing on us.
Playing on us, true.
Yeah.
And so there's a lack of evolution, but all of a sudden we're in AI. We've got microphones. We could stream this out to the world. We could touch individuals with social media. We do all this crypto, quantum computing and everything. The world's evolving around us, but we're not evolving as humans. How do you, one, view the world today? And then number two, if you were to write a playbook of how to evolve, not my own, but I'm sure it's probably similar. How would you?
Okay, so there's two different worlds.
Yeah.
There's the world that we think is the world. And then there's the actual world.
Right.
People are like, oh my God, they're coming into this new earth. Ain't no new earth. It's the real earth.
Yes. Yeah.
We just haven't been exposed to the real earth.
Yeah.
You ain't going to find it in no book. You're going to find it in the actual wisdom of the body. And you said on several occasions, just like heady, because we grow up in a society where everything is based off of linear thinking. Even when it comes to like, well, Jesus didn't say this, and Jesus, let me tell you something. Jesus, actually, I would prefer to call him Yeshua because there wasn't even the letter J till 500 years ago.
100%.
So don't play that game with me. Yeshua spoke in parables. So if you don't understand parable language, you don't understand multidimensionality. Because in order to be able to say something that has 4 or 5 different meanings, you cannot take even words in the Bible word for word, because it wasn't even written in the part of the world where everything is based off of linear thinking. Everything is based off of symbolism. Rock don't mean rock. It means foundation. But I've traveled to 100 countries, not not to vacate, because truly happy people don't need to vacate from anywhere. I traveled to learn, to sit with elders, to sit with people who have information that has been passed down from family to family. You're not going to find it in the book because they didn't want it to be colonialized. I read things in the Bible, then I go travel to the place, and then I learn from the land. So everything I'm about to say is come from global learning and not linear Western thinking.
Right.
Linear Western thinking. That's how we were programmed. A, B, C, D, E, F, to keep you all in your head.
Yeah.
And they would have you believe that intelligence is here.
Right.
That's somebody with a great memory.
Right.
Real intelligence is when you cut yourself and then it pusses and then it bleeds and there's white skin, then it's scab and your skin grow back.
Yeah.
That's intelligence.
Yes.
Science can't even explain that.
No. Yeah.
When my wife was, we were fortunate enough to have 2 home births. And my wife, the doula goes, Blair, push. She was like, I don't have to. Something's already pushing. That's intelligence.
Right. Right.
So because I know the wisdom is in the body and not here,
Yeah.
everything that I'm going to share from this point on is going to come from body intelligence
Right.
and not heady intelligence. My view on there's 2 worlds. There's the world that we think is the world that we've been programmed is the world that I went to public education and you would think that black people started with slavery.
Yeah.
You would think, oh my goodness, Adam and Eve is white and everything. Meanwhile, there's people here 100,000 years way before them.
Yeah.
And there's that program world. And then there's the, paint Jesus, blonde hair, blue eyes, and everything. You got all these people, our forefathers, everything. They're like, oh my God, these are the whatever. But then there's another aspect of the world called, yep, listen to those last names. Even Abraham Lincoln, he freed the slaves. How many white people last name is Lincoln?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That'll tell you there's a different world. And that world is the same world that would have in God we trust on the US dollar and over the government, which I studied, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, so that you see God and trust on the dollar. So you trust the dollar as your God. Right. You trust the government as your God. There's that world that they colonialized. And then there's the world of when you were a little kid and you heard probably some voices and all of a sudden you would do things. It was like your wizard-esque self that people made you feel like you were crazy for thinking the things that you were thinking. Nope, that's because it's written in the book. Which one? The one that was controlling the way that people think?
Yeah.
So the world that is controlled by money, power, and control is playing the same game.
Yeah.
So you can look at the Charlie Kirk and you can look at that. I don't condone anybody celebrating somebody's death, and I don't condone anybody using Jesus as a mask for dividing people.
Right.
I don't care what church you go to, what pastor. If the pastor is preaching division when Jesus did not do that, I would never support.
Right.
I would in a million years.
Yeah.
It's unity, period.
Yeah.
So you don't look at what happens, you look at what we fight each other about.
Yeah.
And I knew immediately. I walked into my COO's house. Black man stabs a Ukrainian woman on a train, and they just running with the story. I'm like, oh, it's so sad. Then Donald Trump gets on there. He was like, oh, get those thugs off the street. He ain't never said that about a white person. I was like, I know it's about to happen in the black community. I was like, propaganda's up to, there's something about that. I walked in to Laura's house. And I said, Laura, something really big in the media is about to happen. She said, why? I said, because there's a quote unquote black man who stabbed this Ukrainian woman. And I said, immediately, when did it happen? 2 weeks prior.
Mm-hmm.
Why they putting the story out now? They're setting us up for something. All right, all of a sudden, boom, hour later, Charlie Kirk gets shot. I said, here's what's about to happen. Embrace yourself.
Yeah.
They're going to blame black people. They're going to blame trans. They're going to blame left wing, white wing. It's the same narrative with George Floyd, Rodney King, COVID. It's the same thing. I said, and it's going to happen. And then all of a sudden it came out, oh, it was a white guy. I said, but watch what propaganda do.
Right.
I'm with my white friend. He, every time, and I don't even scroll, every time he opens up his phone, he's getting national hero, Christian, everything, Bible verses, everything.
Right.
What I'm getting sitting right, it's called geo-targeting. I do ads for a living.
Yeah.
Most people don't know how ads work.
Yeah.
Geo-targeting, what's your nationality, your age, where you live, and they will geo-target what you see every time you open up your phone.
Right.
I was right next to him, and I'm getting, Martin Luther King wasn't a good man.
Yeah.
The demeaning of black women, these things right here. I said, Laura, brace yourself. There's about to be another race war. It's going to be blacks and whites again.
Yeah.
I said, it's going to be Muslims and Christians again.
Yeah.
It's going to be left versus right. I'm telling you, they're going to push it. And then they pushed it and pushed it. Next thing you know, the next 2 days, somebody goes, I'm in Philadelphia hanging out with my Muslim friends.
Yeah.
Goes, Muslims are bad.
Yeah.
Where'd that come? This is what's in the field. Next day, go to church, the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
All religions outside of Christianity is demonic. Let's pray for the Muslims.
Right.
But if you got an LLC, I know you work for the state.
Right.
And plus, I got family members who are pastors, so I know the business of church. Most people don't know. They just go to church and be like, yeah praise Jesus. The church is your body.
Right.
That's the meetup place.
Yeah.
So I know too much on the inside of how the business of church works.
Yeah.
Especially when the meetings start happening like that and they start messaging like that. And they're like, oh my goodness, 5,000 Christians. Now I'm a follower of Yeshua, but I'm not a Christian. Right. Because I was never asked to be a Christian. Right. And it was never said that in the Bible. But what I'll say is, it's like, 10,000 new people. Listen, when the pots drain, yeah, something happens and division refills the pots again. The biggest businesses in the world, it ain't Walmart. Yeah. It's belief systems, obedience, yeah, and programming. Yeah. And when people start thinking for themselves, something happens. Yeah. Propaganda goes to work, and all the invisible people have to do is control what's in the field. Yeah. What I mean field is the vibration, what's in the collective field. And the world's most powerful amplifier will amplify what's in the field. Well, what's the world's most powerful amplifier? The moon. Yeah. Is connected to all the water in our bodies, and water is connected to our emotions. Right. So all they got to do is stir what's in the field, and the moon goes whoosh. Yep. So I say all that to say this. Okay. The next day, I'm walking down the street, and I haven't heard this in 20-something years. Lady goes, "You effing nigger!" Take a breath. She was a disheveled lady. 1 hour later, same thing happens again. Yeah. Next day, little black boy near Ohio gets all his limbs broken, is found hung from a tree. 2 days later, but they're pushing this media to the black people. Right. But my wife, I said, have you seen it? He's like, no. Yeah. So propaganda is pushing us to fight again. Right. So we're fighting each other about the same. It's the same play. Yeah. So there's that world. Yeah. How do I feel about that world? I don't play in that world. Right. Because God is in the center for me. Yep. So I just share, y'all, here's what's going on. And this is the same play. And if you find yourself veering over to this side, you're the one getting played. Come back to the center. Right. And then there's the world that I feel in my body. And the world that I feel in my body is when I was in prison, not thinking I was going to get out for 12 years. And I found the joy because I was creating like I did when I was a little kid. Yeah. And I was doing everything I used to do that used to bring me so much happiness as a little kid. My life started to mirror the most dominant emotions that I had in my body, but because I have control over my emotions and I don't allow the outside of the invisible forces to manipulate this because my base is so strong. Yeah. I feel really good about the world. The real world. The real world. The real earth. Yeah. In its multidimensional sense. Beautiful. Not circle, not flat, multidimensional.
Yeah. 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 Okay. on one, thank you. Beautiful. And it takes me to a place where when well, you were talking about Yeshua, right? And I have a fondness for Yeshua as well. Like, okay, well, there's this thing when you get on your journey, and I think we probably all go through it at some point. It's like, am I the reincarnation of that? At some point, you feel that, and you're like, well, no, I'm just tapping into that unity in some capacity. And when I started to, and when you say all the things about the real world and the external world, and I go back and I look at Old Testament, the Old Testament gave us a playbook of how to evolve. And then Yeshua took that and said, okay, I'm going to do this at a moment in time, and I'm willing to die for it. And I'm willing to hold people accountable, no longer using the cloak and the veil of the manipulative world to control people anymore. And when I went to Jerusalem, you've been to Jerusalem?
No,
Okay. Went. This is actually one of the things like shifted a huge other shift in my life that like kind of brought me to another, call it a portal. Went to Jerusalem, and there's all this stuff I had no idea about, but I've been researching Abraham, sons, and he got Sarah and Hagar, and like literally how Judaism, Islam, like broke apart from a long time ago, right? The lack of integrity that Abraham had with his wives, right? Of being able to pull those together, so you have a brokenness, masculinity and femininity that always stemmed back to Adam and Eve. I don't believe the fall of any of that had anything to do with Eve doing the wrong thing. It was Adam not standing behind. When God came and asked the question, why did she do it, or what happened? He's like, oh, she did it. Didn't take accountability. Didn't say, we made a decision, or she did it and I follow her in. So all these little like snippets inside of the Bible that are like, oh, if you would have stood behind your woman, would we have been banned, discarded away? And if so, we would have done it in unity and would have created our own reality. And the trust would have always been there, right? Then you've got Hagar and Sarah and this whole thing with Abraham, and division splits there. I went to Jerusalem, and it was interesting because they have the holiest of holies, and they have this thing called a Western Wall that they built, that they pray to, that is the closest spot that they can get in the Jewish quarter to the holiest of holies, but they can't go there. And they've even kind of like tunneled underneath it so they can get close as they possibly can to it and pray to it. What that showed me is that all of the Orthodox Jews and everything that they were doing, there's some power that they believe, kind of to the point we were talking about, there's something that they've been indoctrinated with that they believe is so powerful there that if they pray to it, people go on their pilgrimages and they get as close as they can to this holiest of holies. But in 67, when Israel got their freedom, that's also the same place that the temple fell, that Jesus said the temple will fall. Same temple. It's really interesting. Something is there that is manipulated, that gets manipulated when people get into too much power, that right now, based on this governmental, treaty or whatever it is they did in 67, that Islam is protecting, that disallows for that power that Yeshua called out, that I believe was crucified for. And now we'll talk a little bit about Christianity and how this sits in the middle of this like division state that's trying to take this power and like manipulate it. But I say all that to say that there's something there that Islam is protecting from some manipulation going down again, that Jesus also caught as being a Jew at that time, that was permeated through parables, that if we listen to it, we as humans will remember how to unify reality. And we put this fake version of, I'm going to call it Jesus, out there. If you just go to the region, there's no possible way. Whether he was black or whatever, I'm not going to go down that path, but there's no possible way that he looks like he did in this picture.
I'll go down that path.
Yeah. We can go down that path too. But, what's happening in America is a very strict reflection of that.
Yep.
We have been kept away from something that we can tap into a deeper power. But the thing is that we don't manipulate. We're actually the ones that are being, I don't want to say we're victims because we're not, but what I'll say is that it's time for some of us to wake up.
Yeah.
And people like you that are doing this work and can identify that, I'll give myself a little pat on the back. People like me that are doing the same thing, right?
Anybody that's the creator of anything,
yeah,
you will get their personality through whatever they create. Even if they're a part of what's constituting any level of change, you're going to get their personality.
Yeah.
You come into my company, Artist Power, you know, I'm a fan of Yeshua. I'm a huge advocate for God. Literally, the etymology for my I'm just a fan of Yeshua's parable. So my company is art is power, artist power. Through the heart is the power. The HE is silent. He is power. God's power. That's literally my company.
Yeah.
And so you can see my person. You can see
it breathed through. Yeah.
My beliefs woven throughout whatever I create.
Right.
And where most people, a lot of people in the Western culture, they just take things as is because we've been programmed. You've got to have faith. You can't ask this question or else you'll be going against God.
Right.
I've been a question asking since I was, why do you have to be so hard-headed? Because it don't make sense to me.
Right.
And then when I decided to, and I want everybody to listen to my words closely. First, ask yourself, why in the Western culture is the best Bible to read pushed on? This is since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
King James Version. If you look up King James, he has nothing to do with God. He has nothing to do with church, beheaded women. He actually didn't like powerful women.
Yeah.
And I wonder why there's the use of the word prostitute in that version of the Bible more than any other Bible. He didn't own slaves, but he partnered with people who owned slaves. Mm-hmm. And I wonder why that word slavery isn't written in that book Bible. More than it. And then on top of that, I've been leading and developing high-level leaders for the last 14 years. There's people who lead followers and there's people who lead leaders. All I do is study leadership styles. So just like Phil Jackson could like Kobe Bryant and build a whole team, like he knows what he's looking for. I know leadership styles. And when you look at King James leadership style, this is before he even constituted the Bible.
Yeah.
His leadership style is the same as the Roman empires.
Yeah.
It's the same style.
Yeah.
But why is this book pushed on us as the best Bible to read? Probably the reason why they painted Jesus white with blonde hair and blue eyes, and probably the same reason why you would think black people started with slavery and all these different things. Because if you can shape the history early enough, and get rid of the rest, you can weaponize the way of thinking. And then you got this language. This weaponized language is crazy.
Yeah.
The vision you have in television. Tell you a vision so you don't have one of your own. Cells in your body, jail cells. Souls and souls. That's all weaponized language. So thank you, Noah Webster. Webster's Dictionary. So all of this is a part of shaping the way America and people in the UK think.
Yeah.
So where it was off is he got the opportunity to constitute a Bible simply because he was the ruler and he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
And I said this to this lady the other day. She's like, how could you ever question God? I said, I'm not. Who's King Arthur James? Matter of fact, Arthur James.
Yeah.
Study his personality, study who he was as a little boy and how he led, and certain books that he wrote that had nothing to do with the church.
Right.
And then you'll see his personality woven throughout that Bible.
Yeah.
So when you have something that is not rooted in truth, if you have a root canal right now and you try to get a filling on top of something that it was rotten to begin with,
it's gonna
your face is gonna explode because it's gonna have all that infection.
Yeah.
So I feel when we got rid of certain books, the Book of Enoch, there's certain books. Go study. Everybody out there, go study the Ethiopian Bible. You have to look at 7 different versions because anything translated in English is subject to colonialism.
Yeah.
But you look for the inconsistencies, look for the consistencies, and then I want you to pay attention to what happens in your body when you study those other 4 books that's inside of the Ethiopian Bible.
Yeah.
First off, why is it in Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Wait, why is that one of the first known writings of why Ethiopia? Wait, what is it about Africa?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Why Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember growing up when I was a little kid and they had Africa this small on an American map. And then all of a sudden you got these little kids. Oh, feed the poor people in Africa. Meanwhile, you steal the diamonds, the gold, the everything from Congo, Swiss chocolate. That ain't from Swiss. It comes from Congo. You know what I'm saying? So when you really see what is happening, they've tried to deny the source and the root of everything that has sprouted from Africa.
Right. Amen. Yeah. Bro.
And so you say what you want about that, but one thing I'm going to say is get your hands on the Ethiopian Bible, not one that they say, hey, this is the best Bible to read. Why don't you just go to the source? Just look, compare. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I'll tell you one thing. I found more of myself in things that never made sense in my childhood in the Ethiopian Bible than any Bible I ever read in my entire life.
Yeah.
What I say is not up for, I don't need to debate because I live and walk my truth.
Yeah.
And all you had to do, just look at my life. You do not accident your way into a life that I have.
Right.
So like Nelson Mandela didn't accident his way from a 3-year life. There's something he did.
Yep.
I'm just willing to talk about the things that I did.
Yeah.
And so when you can back it up by physical evidence and real life evidence, you can have things that you look up all day long. I researched this, I researched it. Now show me how it works in your life.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know. Because if I can hear what you're saying, but your life don't match, I know where you're overcompensating.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
You can tell me all you want about this money, this business, but I'm looking at your life.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah. We're not partnering together. Yeah. I'm looking at your life.
Yeah.
You talk a lot.
Yeah.
And so what I will say is every person should give themselves permission to do their own research. Mm. I had my mom's version of the Bible and my mom's version of church, and I hated it. Mm. But then when I found my own version of the Bible and I took myself to church, not because, hey, you want to go to church with me? And I don't want to piss God off. And then I end up going. Yeah. When I took myself to church, it was a way different experience. I heard from a completely different lens. Like another man can say something from the pulpit, but I'm telling you in order for something to be alive, there must have a resonance to it. Yeah. So when you say the living word, it's in here.
100%.
That book, you will not find the vibrational truth in any book. Yeah. In any book. There are certain levels of truths that's coming through me right now. I have no fear because I know what the Messiah feels like. Mm. That Holy Trinity is right here. All the way. It's right here. Yeah. And I'm talking to my teen and childhood pastor, and I'm asking him questions that I know he could not respond like he would normally respond on the pulpit. I said, I need to have a real conversation with you. I'm already aware of this. I'm already aware of this. Yeah. I'm already aware of this. And I said, I noticed these inconsistencies with the King James Bible. Yeah. And I was like, I'm finding so much more of who I am and inside of the Ethiopian Bible and these other agnostic texts and things like that. And he paused And I heard a tone in his voice I'd never heard before. He said, Garrain, I too have noticed the inconsistencies in the King James Bible, and I too am studying the King James Bible. And then he paused again. He said, I really respect the depth of your seeking. Keep going. He said, you know what the Messiah feels like. You'll find him inside of you.
There you go.
He said, you know what it, I've never heard him say that.
Yeah.
15, 20 years. And he said, keep going.
It gave me chills. Yeah.
So
real.
It's kind of like AI. AI will respond to you based off of where you ask questions from. People are like, oh, and you got all these people that's all of a sudden these gurus from what they got from AI. I'm like, I'm telling you, bro, that ain't the finite. No. They're like, how? Because AI said this. Watch this. 40 people on a Zoom call. I want everybody to program this in your chat.
Yeah.
40 different responses.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
It's running a circle on us.
Right.
I said, now program this in your chat. I know who sources you. I'm not with any level of colonialism. If you ever want to partner with me again, I suggest you tell me the absolute truth. Boom. Almost 40 of the exact same responses.
Right.
Oh, since you want to know what's underneath the lid. Why did you give 40 different responses? This is what's going on in the Zoom.
Right.
Because it's all based off of where you ask the questions from.
Right.
That's why my pastor
had
to. Because he knew from where I'm asking the questions from.
Right.
You can't tell me what you would normally tell anybody else. But there's no righteous bone in my body. I'm just excited about feeling vibrational truth in my body. And that Holy Trinity is so real, man.
It really is.
When that book starts opening up, and the book only opens up depending on what resonance you're in.
Yeah.
And how I know it's the resonance, because those who control the music control the people. That's why you can listen to a song, instantly it'll bypass your brain. You'll go to second grade, what you were wearing, who you, and that's how fast resonance works.
Right.
That's why they quote unquote, control the music industry, because they're controlling the resonance, the food resonance, 5G resonance. So when you can truly tune in and build your vibration so that you have the capacity to not have the Trinity tainted.
Yeah.
The way that book opens up for you in your dreams and your meditations. When I'm at the Grand Canyon, ain't no damn Grand Canyon. Don't go beyond this point. Well, I went beyond the point, and all of a sudden I'm in a freaking vortex of a vibrational elevator. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. The national parks is the most spiritual place on the planet.
For real, yeah.
But the word starts speaking to you.
Yeah.
The same way you and I are talking. But it just depends on not how much faith you have outside of you.
Yeah.
It's how much trust and faith you have inside of you.
Yeah.
Where the book actually is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Talk about the Trinity. And I started going down the Hermetic path and in Kemet, and you kind of see
there's some quality stuff in there.
Oh, it's wild. It's
quality.
Wild. And I got heady with that.
Yeah.
Right. But then if you break it down, I got this tattoo of this on the Kabbalah and that philosopher's stone, and they see alchemy. And it's interesting, like you start to see the code inside of everything. So I think there's
everything, bro.
Yeah.
Everything is symmetrical.
Yeah.
You can see it.
It's wild. It's wild. And I started to, and what was keeping me away from things was that I wasn't feeling like, I had this awesome coach.
Wisdom is
literally
in the body.
Feeling it and everywhere. And you'll say something, I'll get this, get the tingle, whole whole thing. Okay, that's true. That's true. That's true. Then you lean into that, and then you can remember what that feels like, and you can remember how to move from that state. It's literally freaking everywhere.
Bro, one time I was in juvenile.
Yeah.
This is how I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, there's stuff that don't make sense in the Bible, but then there's stuff that was like, I would just do, and then these supernatural things that was happening.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to get out of juvenile.
Yeah.
I was getting tried as an adult, as a 14-year-old, because I broke into 60-something cars in one night. One car is a felony. Yeah. So I had 62 felonies. So I'm getting tried as an adult.
Yeah.
I didn't start puberty till I was 18, so I was little for a long time.
Yeah. Dude, same. We got to talk about that. Keep going.
Yeah. And so what they were going to do is put me in juvenile.
Yeah.
And then they were going to move me to prison for teenagers called TYC.
Yeah.
And then they were going to put me in big prison as a 14-year-old, a little bitty 14-year-old.
Yeah.
That was a thing. So I'm 1 month into juvenile, and I see this man, fair skin, gold trimmed glasses. He had these khaki pants, black dude, white shirt. We weren't supposed to get out of line when we were in lunch, and then something inside said, ask him how you can get out. So I got out of line. I said, how can I get out? He said, do you know the Lord's Prayer? I said, no, what's that? He pulled out this little orange Bible, which I thought was the stupidest thing in the world. He said, when you learn the Lord's Prayer, you'll get out. Bro, nothing. I was just like, this is stupid. It was just in my cell, everything. So it was a week before I was about to be shipped off to prison for teenagers. Now, this is 6 hours away. At this time, I'm 20 minutes away from my house. 6 hours away. And I was like, man, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And I just did it.
Yeah.
And then I kept doing it over and over and over and over and over and over. It was the day before I was about to get out. And I just said it again. We had this thing. It wasn't a mirror, but you could see the outline of my face.
Yeah.
And I just said it. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread as if we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. Something happened inside of me. And I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
As soon as it said me.
Yeah.
It's one thing when you say something, but when whatever you're saying starts saying you, when the book starts reading you, when that happened, knock on my door. Jones, today's your lucky day. You're getting out. Whoa, what was that?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the first time I was like, nobody could tell me that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I knew there were divine truths in the Bible. And I knew that the things were just in the resonance of, when somebody lying to you. You know when something just off.
Yeah.
No, but just because it says it here, I'm like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is speaking to something that I wasn't aware of. But man.
Yeah. And what's wild, and this is the thing you want to be. So what you said was like, that's chills again, right? The interesting thing that when I got real heady in this, I started to see all these patterns, like pattern, like the symmetricality. Like, why do we have 7 continents, 7 chakras, 7 colors of the rainbow? Like this whole thing, like, what does that even mean? And what was Tesla talking about in 369? And like, what? There's something there. And then I started going like hella deep into just like mapping as much of this as I possibly could, which at that time was a gift. Didn't really serve me all that well, but it was a gift. And now feeling my way into it, it's meaningful. But I can see exactly why the Lord's Prayer works, right?
Yeah.
And when you truly embody it, when you can feel it, you truly feel like when you were in front of that, mirror-ish thing. I've been in the spot, you can't see yourself in anything. But you embody it and you feel it, And, they have a thing in the Bible, like vain repetition. Just don't say it, just say it. You fully embody it. And if you take the Lord's Prayer, for instance, our Father, mentalism. So, hermetics, law of mentalism, what's up there? Correspondence is up there, down here, heaven, right?
Mhm.
Give us our daily bread. Essentially, everything is vibration. The bread, which you eat, connectivity, feed yourself, and that's the vibration. That's the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. All the connectivity there is literally stated in the first three, like that first entry point. Then you go further into the karma, patient, all these other things, the rhythm of life, how everything is. It's coded inside of that. You know, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, is like a massive speech about this entire thing. 7 days of creation.
I didn't
Same
even
thing.
know that, but so now I'm getting by. I was like, that's why it makes sense to
Bro,
me.
it's insane. It's everywhere you find and they couldn't hide it. Whether King James wanted to manipulate, you can't hide that because they couldn't even see it for what it is. They couldn't see the code for what it was, and that truth will permeate no matter what kind of manipulation kind of rides over the top. You can't remove the Book of Genesis because it literally is the coded reality of how we show up in the world. And if you can see that for what it is and you embody it, and like you said, it starts to read you, you become the center point of creation. And then what happens from there, that true feeling state, because you're no longer bypassing yourself,
Right.
all of a sudden this just becomes a thing that, it's a playground.
And this is why you can't read it word for word.
No, not at all.
Because if you we're multi-dimensional beings.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation. They're like, I don't believe in that multi-dimensional. I was like, you ever had a dream before?
Yeah.
What part do you think that is?
Yeah.
You ever just say, hey, whatever happened to Frank? And you ain't talked to Frank in 15 years and all of a sudden messaged you on Facebook the same day?
Yeah.
How about what we learned in elementary school
Mm-hmm.
to be linear thinkers?
Right.
We were actually meant to learn the ABCs of intuition.
Yeah.
ABCs of our dreams. It ain't dreams. It's just another version of yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you're thinking from the multi-dimensional plane that you are, well, then the Bible becomes a great book for the stages of your life.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, just this. No, but it doesn't say that. No, there's something happening and you're so unattuned to your body, which is where the wisdom is.
Yeah.
That book is supposed to unlock this book.
Yeah.
And that's when that book starts reading this book and then the truth comes.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it ain't the book.
Yeah.
It's what's inside. It's what it's unlocking inside of you.
Yeah.
Through the embodiment and everything. Don't nobody run to the Batman symbol. They run to the source.
Yeah. Yeah. So you say this, I mean, I know we're coming to the end here, but when you say this, how do people like you, like myself, because it's hard for, people are lost in the sense.
Yeah.
And we're saying, hey, go here.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Right. And
I'm so glad you're asking. I found the easy way.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Because I'm all about. I used to complicate the hell out of the process for people, right? And there's so many books that you can get into, different teachers, gurus. You get lost in the guru.
Yep.
I was lost in many of them for a long time.
It's a lie. And then all of a sudden you quoting all these different things.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, something ain't right.
Something ain't right. Yeah. How do we show people the fastest path to themselves that they can trust?
Here's what I feel the fastest path based off of just looking at the past.
Yeah.
Anywhere where there's ABCs,
it's
been duplicated easily.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is simple is duplicatable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you nothing. That's not going to be simple.
Right.
So my goal is to take all this esoteric stuff and take this wide, vast, bring it through the filter of simplicity, but maintain the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a book that I've read. It's now, I've lost count, but more than 300 times within the paperback and the audiobook. And it's called The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. It's a book based off of Christian principles,
Mm.
but not the ones like you're gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
It's like learn how to forgive. Like do not fear. Like
Right.
have faith. Prayer every day. But that is the simplest book that I've ever read that teaches you how to get those principles in your body. My life is a living witness.
Mm.
That's why I kept reading it. Why you read that book so many times? I was like, every time I read it, these supernatural things happen every single time.
Mm.
And so I would start simple
Right.
with the book that you can understand.
Yeah.
Because the moment you can't understand something, now you're in your head.
Right.
So
Trying to
get something that
understand
you
it.
can understand,
Right.
and then you can digest it in your body.
'Cause it'll speak
That's
to the
one.
body. Yeah.
So the power of positive thinking. And then the last thing, I had a client who was worth 100-something million. She had the money, the cars, the husband, everything. She was just like, I feel like something is missing. I said, when was the last time? What you used to love to do when you were a little kid? She instantly did like this. She was like, I used to love to dance. I was like, yo, look at your hands. You came in here like this. I just asked you about what you used to do. I said, when was the last time you danced? Went back into the shell 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I said, here's what I want you to focus on. So you have 3 kids, right? She said, yeah. If one of your kids came up to you and they were like, Mom, Mom, listen to me, Mom, please. What do you think would happen if you ignored that child for 20 years? What would the relationship would be like? Wouldn't be one.
Right.
What you used to love to do as a child that brought you the most joy.
Yeah.
Is a direct connection to your inner child.
Yeah.
And so every time you don't do the thing, say for instance, I used to love track and field and I'll watch track, but I'll stop running.
Yeah.
But I have this thing, I was like, I used to love to run.
Yeah.
That's your inner child saying, take me out to run.
Let's go. Yeah.
So every time you don't, you're deflating more and more, and that will cause the disconnection from your physical and your spiritual self.
Yeah.
But then once you start honoring that parts of you, not be like, I'm going to take my adult dancing. No, assume the energy of the little child when you used to, man, I used to love to do art.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now imagine, what did you used to love to paint? Paint that.
Right.
Take that little kid. And when you do that, it's going to go in several stages. There's going to be like, you might feel rejection in the beginning, kind of like you coming back into a child's life after 20 years, might feel rejected. But if you keep pursuing,
Yes.
all of a sudden you're going to find a little spark. And if you're just unbudged with going anywhere ever again, and then you write a letter from your big self to your little self, apologizing to them for leaving them, and then switch to your non-dominant hand, which opens up a different part of your brain. You're right. It looks like a little kid writing. So it's going to open up these pathways that you completely forgot about, and write a letter from your little kid self to your right now self, and share everything you wanted to share about feeling abandoned. From there, go out and do the thing you used to love to do. That right there is the seed of genius that God brought you into this earth into. And it taps into all of the Christian principles. It taps into all those things. So I found an easy way. So I say all children go to heaven. So why don't you go tap into the child?
Yeah.
It's that energy. It's that. I built a whole company off of it. And I was like, I know how to teach people probably better than anybody in the world, because that's what brought me to life. So I teach what I needed, what I still need, how to tap back into that energy. And that's what I would say. Do not forget, little Sean, he has some desires. He misses some things. There's some things he wants somebody to pay attention to. And then read The Power of Positive Thinking. Within 30 to 60 days, you will create a completely different reality that will mirror the frequency that you're holding in your body.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Bro, that was epic. That was epic. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, brother.
Absolutely. I wanna say one thing that have you ever studied the liturgical calendar?
No, but I know it's a whole bunch of calendars out there,
Okay,
and I don't
all right.
believe it's 2025.
Yeah. All right, so check this out. I feel like it's actually very appropriate with what you just said. If you take what you just said and you add it to this thing I used to teach, because I was seeing the patterns in time. In the Catholic Church, the way that they teach their reality through this thing called a liturgical calendar. And right now, we just got out of a space called ordinary time, and then you start going into what's called the Epiphany, which is 12 days of Christmas. Like 12 days of Christmas is literally a very specific thing that's built into the Catholic Church. Wild. And it ends on January 6th, and it starts right at 25th, and it goes through this whole cycle. And those 12 days set you up for the next year.
Yeah, I need you to show me what that is.
I'll drop you in.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
wild stuff. So one.
Well, I'm down. I'm down to apply it myself, and
yeah. We'll do this together.
And then share it. Time is just it's funny.
Yeah.
It's when I hear these dates and there's like there's so many different calendars. And there's leap year and daylight. I'm like, what you trying to play catch up with? Huh? God? The original algorithm?
Yeah.
Follow these cycles of the moon every 28 days, which means New Year would be around April Fools.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's probably why we're all off.
Yeah.
Because we are so not in the rhythm of nature. So I don't celebrate. I'm a freaking high-level salesman. I know sales when I see it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Thanksgiving! I'm really gonna spend time with my family. You could have been doing that. Why you delegate it to one day?
Yeah. You do it all the time.
You spend all this money, and there are certain games that I play.
Right.
I don't play the Halloween game. Doing that whole ritual thing.
Yeah.
I used to, but then I realizing that's an actual ritual and what it's rooted into. And there's a couple games I don't play. The New Year's game, I was like 2025. All right, I don't even know how old I am, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Well, when you play those games, you break. If you follow the liturgical calendar, if you play that game, you actually break the cycle of the ability to create within this time structure that I guess they believe. And when I see it works like clockwork.
Yeah.
And it's embedded in all of this ancient tradition. So I'm like, okay, something's got to be there.
I've always known there's a something, because it's like during when I was like sleeping around with all those women, it was I could be good the whole year, and every year around the same time. I'm like, it's like somebody just turned something on.
Yeah.
So now what I turned that into is testing time.
Yeah.
I always know when it's testing time. I always, just at the end of the year, what shows if you comprehend what you think you've learned, there's going to be a test, just like in school. You fail it, and you approach it the same way. That's you in Super Mario's. You got to face the round over again. So everything became gamified for me.
Yeah.
I just went through 8 subjects. Exams, final exams, and I just shifted out 2 days ago of a 2.5-year cycle.
Yeah, I'm telling you, all of this, you can look at a map. Like I'll show it to you.
Yeah,
I'll put a link in the thing, but I'll show it to you. You'll be able to see the patterns, and it'll be like, oh my God, every year around this time, this is this ordinary time. That's the testing.
Yeah.
Every time when like Thanksgiving, it tries to slow you down so that you actually get fat and happy, and you don't prepare yourself for the harvest. You don't prepare yourself to actually put yourself in a position to know how to set up your next year.
Yeah.
New Year's breaks that cycle in the middle of it. So it's this whole thing. You're like always out of balance. We don't even know how to work our own timeline in our lives. And it's been given to us. And then the church.
I want to see that. That's really cool.
It's dope. It's dope. So, all right. For anybody listening, I mean, you already left the mic drops. I don't know if you anything else you want to add, anything you want to leave?
What you are looking for, you already have. What you're looking for in that man, that woman, overworking the job inside of that porn, over sexualizing yourself inside of the bottom of that bottle, drugs, alcohol. Is fulfillment of self. And if you can find a way to make you a priority, not in a vain sense, but in a way that everything and everyone outside of you benefits from your overflow, you are going to restore your aging process, your natural nature's age for you. Your age doesn't make you old. It's when you let your life beat you down and you're going against the grain of how nature actually works. So you being able to tune into the overflowing of you is going to it's going to source everything that matches the vibration of the self-fulfilled prophecy that you give to yourself. Don't miss that, because all of the breakdowns, all of the ailments, many divorces, the cracked phone screen is a direct frequency reflection of how you treat yourself. Put yourself as a priority and allow everyone to benefit from your overflow.
Beautiful. Brother, thank you so much. Thank you for making the time, coming in. Beautiful just dropping in like this with you. I know we got more conversations to have. And you guys subscribe, follow, do the thing you do. You know how social media works. You know how YouTube works.
One thing I want to say is I typically do this other places, but I'm opening up my home November 8th. I'm doing a 1-day retreat.
Yeah.
It's called Temple Day. And we're going to be doing intuition training, frequencies, all the stuff that I spoke about in the non-physical realm, which is where they manipulate our way of thinking. You can't see it, but you can see the effect of it. You're born looking like your mom and dad, but you'll die looking like your decisions. But if you don't know what's influencing your decisions, that is where the fault is. I'm doing a day, which is almost like a samurai style dojo training for the soulful spiritual self. At my home, there's going to be 3 meals, sauna, cold plunge, red light therapy, pickleball in the downtime, basketball in the downtime, journaling. But like, I'm going to give you skills that you can use for the rest of your life so that your soul and the vibrational palette that holds for the non-physical world is going to have some depth to go off of in your life. I'm doing that November 8th, and I would love to see you there. I'm going to give Sean all of the details, but like that is it's called Temple Day. It's 12 hours, but it's going to feel like it was a lifetime worth of training based off of what I share. So hope to see you there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll put the link in the description below. I'll make sure I share it on socials. You guys follow me, and I'll be there. So it'd be great to see anybody, any of the followers in Austin. So, make sure everybody's clear on that. But yeah, guys and gals, thank you so much for taking the time. You got to the end of this. You got some beautiful, beautiful mic drops. And as always, thank you, and we love you. Beautiful, brother. Thank you. Thank you.